Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This video is about my first in a long time market uh, craft fair show. And let me tell y'all, I had fun. It went better than I expected it to go. Um, so backstory. I always wanted to do this fair at this high school. So last year I didn't do it because I didn't have enough product. So this year I said I'm going to do it. So I signed up in July and I started crocheting immediately. I was crocheting before work, after work, making any and everything. So I didn't still didn't think I had enough stock or the right stock. So some items that I made were gnomes, snowmen, plush whales, autos, bees, mushrooms, um, some scarves, some bags. And the bags didn't sell, but they did attract the first little two group of girls that came. And when I tell you, they stayed at my table all day, but their dad wouldn't buy them anything. But they went back and got the brother and the dad bought the brother a Yoda. So from there, somebody else came and snatched up a Yoda. I had two Yodas. They sold out, and the first sale was at like 9:15. The craft show started at 9. Then the second sale was at like 9:23, and both Yodas was gone. Um, and I also had some bullfrogs. Everybody commented on the bullfrogs, but nobody bought the bullfrogs. Everybody liked the scars, but nobody bought the scars. But the scars are at a higher price because it's a larger item and it takes more time and it's more intricate. So I have those priced at like 20, 25. So I guess nobody wanted to commit to those. And then the little girls that came back and they saw the bags and they knew exactly what the bags were. They were cell phone pouch bag for little girls. They was trying to convince their dad, but he wouldn't budge. And there were a lot of people that, because my booth was like kind of in the front when you come in, and it was across from another booth that was, they stayed busy the whole time. So when people would visit their booth, they would turn around and look back, and when they looked back, my plushies was there. And I was there and I had three other crochet competitors. But by me being like in the front where people was coming in and across from a busier booth, um, and then next to a tumbler booth where he did custom tumblers, my booth, they would look right over and see the plushies. The kids made a beeline for the plushies. The adults made a beeline. The teenagers made a beeline. And like I said, there was three other crocheters there, and they were like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna look around and come back." I don't know if it was my prices or the product or maybe both, but they would look around and they would come back and they would buy from me. And I felt sorry for a couple of kids because their mom would tell them, "No, let's look around and come back." By the time they would double back, the item that they want, somebody else came back because they went around and came back and double back. They bought it instantly. So a lot of kids missed out on what they had because some things I only had maybe one of, or um, I may have had more than one, but people was buying more than one. So overall, I had fun. The people loved my product. They would come in and they would just go, but they would look at the bullfrogs, but they wouldn't buy. And at first, my mushrooms was not selling at all, but everybody said, "Oh, how cute they were." But when I ran out of octos, they started buying the mushrooms. And my coworker, she came out because I had a couple of custom orders for her. She came out and bought more stuff. So shout out to her for coming out. And a couple of the vendors, they was eyeing my stuff all day. So at the end, they came and bought everything. Like I had a snake and nobody was buying my snake, but they was buying maybe the other vendor's snake because I saw a couple of their snakes. But I guess when she ran out and packed up, they came and bought my snake. So, but she said she was eyeing it, and a couple of people was like, "Oh, I was eyeing your stuff, and I was waiting to see what's at the end of the night." So they came and they bought my penguins. Everybody loved my penguins, which I love my penguins. And so the vendor across from me was like, "Where the penguin?" He thought it was an owl. He was like, "Well, it's staring at me. I'm gonna buy it." And then my next thing was the octos. So everybody came and picked that up. So when that I had whales too, but nobody was really paying attention to that. But when I ran out of the octos, the whales started selling. And then the other thing was I had a poppet. The girl came, she looked, she came back, she bought the poppet, but the little boy wanted the poppet. But when he came back, there was no poppet. There just a lot of things that happened. I was so excited. I paid $130 to be at this fair. I made that back within like the first 2 hours because the sales was back to back. I couldn't handle it. It was like people was in a line. They was buying 2 and 3 items. And then my line got backed up when my coworker came because me and her started chatting. And then the other lady across from me, she just stayed at my table. She was chatting so hard that I had to just like kind of look at the people that was lining up over here to buy. And then another thing that I learned was my square reader kept popping out of my thing, so I couldn't do it. So I was like, some people had tap to pay, some people had exact cash or cash where I can give change, and some people I had to manually key in the square key in that credit card because the square wouldn't stay in the outlet, so I couldn't get the square. So I said, just screw it. I'm gonna key it in and just eat the charge. So I took $200 float cash, and out of that, I made, I think I made 188 if you minus the fees. And so it's not a lot of money, but I made it back. People like my product. I had fun. It was so much fun. It was organized when we got there. The volunteer were the students, the basketball students. They helped unload the car quickly, efficiently. They took the stuff to our table. All we had to do was set up. Breakdown was kind of pretty easy. Um, Me and my son just broke it down, so he did real well. That was his first time going with me, so I think he's gonna be my business partner. He enjoyed himself. I paid him in food. I bought him some food, and I spent $5 on buying a bracelet from my neighbor because she came over. Her dad bought a penguin, which he thought was an owl, and then she came back because she was eyeing a giraffe that I made. So I think she bought a giraffe and a mushroom, and so at the end of the night, at the last minute, I decided to make a giraffe. And I was like, well, what if nobody buy it? And I spent all this time making a giraffe and whatever. So I made the giraffe. It sold the first night. A leggy frog. I made a leggy frog the morning of the thing because I couldn't sleep. So I said, might as well make something. So I made a leggy frog. And prior to, I could never get the leggy frog to work. But all of a sudden it worked. I put some pretty eyes in it, put just a straight mouth on it. Um, it's sold, but a lot of people were saying you should have more than one, and I was like, well, I just decided to make that. So but somebody was eyeing it, they came back and they got it. um just a lot of things I decided to make at the last moment, and I was like, well, what if it don't sell? They sold. People was buying 2 and 3 items. People was spending $30-$40. So if you're looking for and reason to do craft show, this is your reason. You never know what people will buy. You just never know. You never know what some people are looking for, and some people were so happy and their faces was light up, and kids would just grab the things, and so their parents would have to pay for it because they know they can't get the thing away from the child. So just my just go out, try, find what's popular. I kind of want to say make enough of it, but hey, you never know what would sell, what would not. Like I spent a lot of time on gnomes. A lot of people didn't necessarily know what it was, but I think had I would have put either twine on it or a keychain on it, probably more of those would have sold. More of my mushrooms would have sold. But a lot of people said the mushrooms was cute, but they didn't really buy it until like the end of the night. But yeah, I will insert a video of what I look like and when I restocked. Um, and maybe some pictures of some things that sold. Thanks for watching.